Live from the MC.
How are we doing? How are you doing? This is the Dyckman Podcast, Casual Supremacy, Jason Paulino, live
From the MC. Oh.
Dime.
Action.
Welcome back, everybody. We are Casual Supremacy. We are the Dyckman Podcast. It is February 11th. Welcome back, everyone. As always, we're talking about local, national, international news, all the good stuff, all the wild stuff. Dyckman Podcast, you're getting more and more popular every day. So I know big things are happening over there. Listening here with live. And, it was a crazy week. It started off with the Super Bowl this weekend.
Hold on, Jay. We have to shout out the shirt, man.
The shirt. Oh my God. You like this? You like this?
You see the shirt, the Cobra.
If you're from the 80s, if you were a G.I. Joe kid, like you were like me, if you're old like me and love G.I. Joe, then you know exactly where this shirt comes from. And you know exactly where the symbol comes from. And you're as excited as me that someone's wearing it. It is time to bring back the Cobra organization. We need to be retaliating. We need to be.
You gotta shout out the shirt, man.
We have to be retaliating. Yes,
and then you have the blazer.
The blazer. You know, obviously we gotta.
We're formal, but we're also here to party.
Casual, exactly. You know, look at me
casual.
this way, but we're also supreme.
There we go.
The casual supremacy is real. We're doing it. I want to say congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a Giants fan, and this is Giants Blue. It's been a rough 10 years for all Giants fans, and to watch Saquon, leave he won the Super Bowl on his birthday. And it was a terrible game. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but the game itself was terrible. Did you watch the halftime show? Were you into that? As a Kendrick Lamar, you're not into that whole thing. But that was a big controversy about Kendrick, and the Kendrick Lamar show it was very black. It was a very black show.
Still going.
It is what it is. But it's like the most watched Super Bowl show ever for YouTube. It is absolutely like the people.
It broke MJ.
Yeah, like you either got it or you didn't. It's one of those things that like it's so funny because I don't know how football, but I think the people who were most mad about the halftime show were also the people who thought like Josh Allen should be the MVP of like the league this year. Like it's like this weird thing. It's like I get it. We know it's kind of like this.
It's a cultural.
It's definitely a cultural thing. It's like for Kendrick, like for us, it's like it's funny. There's like these videos of like these kids, like their parents are like, "What is this?" And the kid is singing it word for word, like all the Kendrick things. The little white kid just singing like the whole Kendrick verse. He's sitting there. He's like, let him cook because it's not.
Yeah.
It's just not meant for you. Some things are just not meant for certain people. And I feel like we each have to do that. Sometimes I've been watching those shows that I'm like, I don't know who this is. And I listen to bands and I try something different, but it always becomes a thing. I thought the show was fantastic, and I think obviously everyone wanted to see what he was going to do with Drake, him smiling at Drake and the little A minor. And that was diabolical. That was diabolical. Okay. He was not messing around with Drake. It took me a second even to get that. Like there's certain things, the Uncle Sam using Sam Jackson as the Uncle Sam was like fucking top,
premium.
Premium. He had the American flag split in between, and it was all the symbolism between, just how America was basically built on slavery, on black people for a long time. For a long time, this was cheap labor is what we run on. It's all good. 1619 to like 1845, something like that.
Let me put you on a game.
He's just like, listen, just for the record, this was built by enslaved Africans, but it's all good. And I thought it was a great show. I just thought there's a lot of people, I was like, but I feel like everyone's entitled to their opinion, like if that's what you think, that's what you think. You didn't like the show, I'm with you. Like, what are you gonna do? But I think like, just let it go. But some people have taken it. But at this time, it's like Kendrick's got a Pulitzer Prize. He's got like 20 Grammys or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, like maybe you not getting Kendrick doesn't really mean anything. Like I feel like he's done enough that things are going all right for him. So good for him. Some very interesting New York things going on right here. You like Luigi?
Ooh.
You like Luigi, Miss Luigi Mangione?
Back of the news?
No, he accepted. They raised for him publicly, like through like crowdsourcing, $300,000 for his legal fees.
Yes,
so he was like, thank you. And so he he accepted the 300K and he's using it towards his lawyer fees. But he was like, thanks, guys. Appreciate you. And I think that's, it's we'll see how that one unfolds. But Luigi's been out there. I'm just saying that people are still like, paying his coffers and his lawyers, and he's doing all right.
No, 300K will get you far in court.
Fight so, for a little bit, man. They're not gonna play around. This is a real game. So let's see. I'm very curious to see where this goes. I'm very curious. Speaking of New York City, we can't talk about Luigi without talking about Mayor Adams. Oh, I know how much you love talking about him.
Shout out to the boy.
Shout out to the club promoter. We have talked about him. I don't know if I've had a topic that we've talked about more throughout. I mean, he has saved himself somehow. Actually, we know exactly how he saved himself from federal indictment. The prosecutors, both in New York and in DC, are quitting over this, or they resigned. But basically, right now you got to kiss the ring. He told Trump,
bend the knee.
You bend the knee. Listen, you go and you talk to Trumpito and you're like, listen, I'm going to help you do what you want to do here. Get rid of the immigrants, Rikers Island. They got to turn Rikers Island thing. ICE can have it. They can use a part of it for this. And they were like, okay, well, now your charges are dropped. The only thing is, like, for Adams is a tough thing. It's either get indicted or like you can't. I mean, you can't. You can be mad, but you kind of get it. You kind of understand. Like, yo, like, I kind of would have done it too. I mean, it is what it is. I kind of was like it makes a move that you can.
You got to pay the price.
You got to.
It's a price that most would be willing to pay.
And so but basically though, he's gonna be at the mercy of this. He's basically blackmailed right now, and it is what it is. It's like if he wants to stay out of jail, they throw out the whole case, but all of it has to do with his helping enact, Trump ICE. The prosecutors are calling it very classic quid pro quo. We'll see what happens, man. We're living in a new age. Everything goes. No.
Shout out to Adams, man. Shout out to Adams.
Just like Adams some love on this one, because I mean, he got to save himself. And I mean, we expected nothing else from this man. I did not expect anything. Like, this dude was gonna do whatever he had to do to save his own ass, and he did it, and he won, and
he's still winning.
America cheers the winners. I don't know how you did it, but we don't really care. If you won, you won. And we're proud of you for that. And that is how America works. And so, unfortunately, it sucks. But we are. Did you see Trump had a meeting with Elon and his 4-year-old son in the Oval Office?
Yeah, your boy X.
Yeah,
Little X. Little X.
X told that dude to shush his mouth, and that I saw it. Like, everyone's been replaying this video, but he basically told me, yo, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You're not the real president. I was like, okay. I mean, you see pictures and like Trump just not look happy. He's like this boy's like standing next to him, and he's just there like with his like hands down in his desk. Like, he was like not happy because he knows he looks like, Trump looks like the Musk. Like, it's crazy. You don't know who's running who at this point. We just decided that we are going to buy 400 million armored Teslas. So that's the new department. Now Elon. I don't know if you ever heard this. You should Google this. So Elon's looking for all these wastes from all these 8 organizations, even though we know exactly where all the money is. It's all these contracts, these defense contracts, $800 billion in defense, but no one looks at that money because that's where Elon gets his $20 billion a year from the United States. He's subsidized, even though he's the dude that we're asking to cut waste, is the dude that we give $20 billion in subsidies. He's a dude that we decided. So now we're going to pay him $400 million for armored Teslas. Now, let me ask you, like, what do you think why would our country need 400 armored Teslas? Or $400 million worth, I'm sorry, $400 million worth of armored Teslas. Why would we need that? Because we're not going to send those to like war abroad. Right? Like, we're not going to go to, we're not going to invade anybody with riding through Teslas. Guess what? That those armored cars are going to be used.
Oh, you got me, Jay. I want to know.
Dun, dun, dun. They're gonna be used against you. I mean, it is what it is. They're preparing for war with
Civil War.
our citizens. You know what I'm saying? To just so boldly be like, yo, I want 400 million armored Teslas. And I mean,
400 million. That's
$400 million worth of armored Teslas. That's like a whole
lot of Teslas.
that's a whole lot of armored Teslas. And at the same time, this is the guy that we have put in charge. We decided the Department of Education, we don't need that. Why do we need education? Public schools? We don't need that. They're trying to cut all this stuff off. And at the same time, they're going to do $400 million worth of armored Teslas. I'm telling you that we are, that's why I wore with the Cobra today. We are the terrorists, okay?
The resistance.
Think about it. They're G.I. Joe. They're the ones, they're going to be running around in their like armored cars, and we're the ones who like we're their foes. Like, we're Cobra.
Oh, man.
That's what they think of us, like, I don't know. But if you think that money, and especially now that they're trying to like, first of all, inflation went up again, right? So forget all that whole thing. Trump eggs. I just went to C-Town. Eggs are like $15 for my Vital, like my organic eggs for 12. Like I have the pictures. I was like, it's like a crime scene when I look at the eggs. I love my eggs. It's for the first time eggs per ounce are more than like beef than steak. You know what I'm saying? That it costs more. Yeah. So for the first time. So we're going through all these things, and it's trade wars, and we're doing all these tariffs, friends, foes. They're trying with China. I don't think people loved my hot take last week. I want to, talk about this China thing a little bit more. But I'm just saying that, like, as far as China, like, again, we gave up all our manufacturing a long time ago. Not necessarily to them, India too, to other things, but we basically don't make much in America anymore, which is what people have to understand, except we know what we do make.
Yeah, you know what we do.
My whole point is that, but like, China doesn't need our guns. China doesn't need our meta. China doesn't even need that. Like the stuff that we depend on, like oil, the minerals. That's why we're trying to make all these deals with Greenland. Even what's his name? Zelensky. And we're talking about what's going on in Ukraine. And he goes, yeah, we'll send you more money if you send us a bunch of like earth. They want the minerals. That's what all this is about. Greenland is about like all our phones, all our devices. They take all these different like minerals and stones. We have some here, but they're really like in Thailand, and they're in China. A lot of that stuff is seeing what's going on. But again, I do believe that I'm not saying that either nation needs each other like to survive, but that I think that the United States, just on a betterment thing, and because so much of our equipment and everything is made in China. It is not made in the United States. And so that's all I was saying. And that was kind of, I got some people who kind of responded, and I appreciate everyone who like writes back to me and is like wrong. And I was like, listen, I'm not saying that the United States needs China. I'm not saying that China needs the United States. They're very two worlds apart. And actually, I think that they've made it clear that they don't. And I think they've made it that they didn't want to be. But because of the prowess of Chinese, manufacturing, everything is made in China. And now if not China, it's like being made in India. And it's just like, we gave that job because we honestly don't want to pay people American wages to make stuff like that, because they can basically pay almost nothing and make it in India or make it in China or make it in, so it's just, again, it's good. It's good capitalism, for the owners of these people who make all this stuff. It's like, why am I going to spend an American for $20 a month? This is, our currency is valued. That's why China owns $800 billion of our debt, because they want American money. They know we're going to keep holding it down. We got the Tulis, we got the armies, we got the drones, we got the nuclear subs, we got the nukes. We will fuck you up.
The armored Teslas.
We got the armored Tesla. Yo, think about 400 million Teslas looks like, of like what Cybertrucks.
This is going to be crazy.
So it's just become this like insane pay for play. Like, if you're down with us, and I knew that's what it was going to be. Like, basically, like, you're just going to give your boys money. Like, it is what it is. But honestly, I can't wait till like the Elon Trump like explosion. Something's gotta happen. Like we gotta get rid of Elon, man. I don't care what anyone says. I don't know. I feel like he's a problem. It is what it is. He didn't find Tesla. I just think that what he's doing right now with
Vice President Elon.
Vice president. He's like the president.
Bro.
It is what it is. He's like up there, man. He's got his own like security detail that's like freaking like the Secret Service. He's got he's Voyager. He's got he's trying to shut down all these things. He's become this political. You saw Kanye. Him and Kanye finally had to unfollow Kanye because only Kanye could be a bigger Nazi than.
Kanye's going crazy out here.
Kanye's going crazy. He had to be. I mean, it's just too much, man. Today, I don't know. I spent the whole day, and it was like him and Bianca are getting a divorce, and then it was like, no, Bianca and Kanye are not getting a divorce, and it was like, no, it's been confirmed that they've separated. It was literally my entire Instagram feed was like World Star, whether or not I'm like. He just gone past the point where you can't even like take him seriously. And he did this, but you let that dude put in a Super Bowl commercial, and then you let him lead to a website that was only selling a T-shirt with a swastika on it. And Shopify had to cut him out. I mean, for you to get Shopify to take you off is a lot because it is what it is. But they let him like put up a commercial on the Super Bowl. Kanye, whatever, he paid it. He was like, here you go, and we got it. And I feel like all the commercials this year were pretty whack. It was what it was. It's just like they just keep trying to put like bigger and bigger names and all this stuff, but it's like there's like no one like actually writing anything. Like there wasn't like anything that I thought was really funny. But it's crazy enough that Yeet threw in his little commercial, and a lot of people bought that T-shirt. I'm talking about like tens of thousands of people bought a T-shirt with a swastika on it.
And the reach that you got at the Super Bowl, man.
So I mean, it says something,
numbers game.
It says something about who we're dealing with and the people we're dealing with and the world we're in. And like you think these people don't exist, but sometimes I'd rather them just wear a swastika T-shirt. Like at least you would know who they were. Like honestly, I don't want the undercover. Like I want you to be like an upfront like bigot. Like I want you to be just be sit in your chest, like because you're tired of dealing with people that are just kind of these like closeted like like you're like, no dude, like you're not trying to help me, but you're also pretending like you're something else. And I would much rather deal with someone who is just doing the damn thing, seeing what's going on. So that's the only thing I will say.
The people that ran into the Capitol, they probably wear those shirts.
I mean, I don't think all those people are Nazis just because they went to January 6th and seeing what's going on. A lot of the people that they got out are put back in jail for various reasons though. Like they've all been they were in jail for a little bit and they've gone right back, and a lot of them are pedo. A lot of random things. Like look up like a lot of the. I'll chat GPT right now, but there's consequences to everything that's going on, and yeah, it's just a wild times here. Oh. Trump also has claimed that he wants to rebuild Gaza and just claim it for us or for the United States, or just like, we're not going to buy it. We're going to send the troops in. Everyone wanted Trump there because he wasn't going to bring any more troops out, or he was going to America first. But some people have been calling him out because he's now being like, you know what? I kind of want Gaza, and I'm going to build some hotels. He's trying to find places to put the Palestinians in. And let's just say people aren't really loving it. China's told them no. A bunch of people are just like Saudi Arabia. A bunch of big countries have been like, dude, stop. Again, I was talking to you before about this because this is a strategy I feel that's going on right now with Trump, with this whole thing, flooding the zone. And if you don't know what that is, you look up, 2025, Project 2025. It's just basically about like the constant like bombardment of information. And there's like 20 different things going on at once, but there's only like really like 10 things or 5 things that are like really, really important, but they'll throw out real crazy things in the air, all these executive orders. The problem with executive orders is that they're not laws. So then any judge can basically stop any executive order.
Yeah.
He's going to have to, so this is what's going to happen for 4 years. There's these executive order bombs. Everyone's like, oh, freaking out. Like, oh, you did this, you said that. And then some judge or something's going to be like, no. and they're gonna have to fight it, and it's gonna be a whole thing because instead of like writing laws, he's just doing these little shortcuts, and he's just like sending out these executive orders. We really should just be writing laws, because think about it, no other president. Think about it. What other president since we've been alive was like had like 40 executive orders? You can't really think about it. It's just like this is all we do.
Not that we know of.
Not that I mean, not in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And it's been like long enough. I've been long enough to be like, yo, and so I will say is that we have to stay vigilant as a people, and I'm just saying that they're trying to tell you that like stripping away like these aid workers and people helping people and these poor people, immigrants, like that's what's going to help you. But at the same time, they're spending $400 million on armored Teslas. Like I'm just saying, like you're looking one way, but they're like. Then you could just again, you got to follow the money, and we've talked about this many times. You start following the money, you're seeing what's going on, and it's getting crazy. Just I don't know. Prepare for whatever you think is happening. Be happy. I hope everyone's making money. I love this place. I love being around you guys. I love being here with the Dyckman Podcast with you live. Tell me what's new with you, brother. I want to hear what's going on with the podcast. What's going on with the channel? What's new?
Did you hear about the woman that gave birth on the train?
On the W train at 34th Street.
Yes, on the W train.
Yes. I did hear about that. That was yesterday. So funny. I was like on a Zoom at work, and then all of a sudden you're like heard it in the back. I was like, some woman just had a baby on the W train. But yes, it was just like I heard. That's literally where I heard it. Was like in the back of a Zoom in a corporate like Zoom meeting, and like someone was just like so shocked by it. Hopefully,
And the story thickens. Apparently, she's from Florida, and she's also a missing person.
God, I can't even really. I mean, it had to be really sketchy for like a woman to be that, on the subway and by herself. I saw her, she was like under like a seat, like she wanted to show her face. It was like a weird. It definitely seemed like the circumstances to that were odd, and so yes, I did I did read that, and I hope that little, I think it was a little girl. I hope she's well, and welcome to.
What would you call the baby?
Whew, I don't know.
The MTA baby.
The MTA baby. That's a good one. Let me think about that one.
The W.
I know. It's gonna be something like Whitney.
Down.
Yeah. Like, what do you do that? The Omni. Maybe Omni's a good one. Or give her like that's it. Let's see what's going on. Should be happy with that.
Okay. Madness has broken out in LA over the Luka Doncic jersey.
Oh, I can see that. Number 77, baby. Another
77.
Good looking tall white boy, 25 years old. I'm sure that motherfucker, they're gonna kill each other for that thing. Okay. He's like, LA has like bought in, like, they love, so I feel like Luka's is gonna kill it. And plus he's Luka. It's like, but I'm just saying,
yeah,
you get extra dollars. I'm just saying, like in all sports, I feel like, you get like if you're good, but if you're a white good.
Yes, of course.
You're always
but the Bronny jerseys sold pretty good as well.
Which one? The
Bronny jersey,
baby Bronny. Yeah.
Well, the Lakers are pumping jerseys out here,
and even the LeBron. It is what it is. They definitely have made crazy money on these people, and it is what it is. LA is a great place. They're all making good money, and they're having a good time. And I'm scared more for our Knicks. They look great one day, and then they look absolutely horrible. Not horrible, but they can't finish. I think the Hawks beat them in overtime last night. It was very sad. It was very sad. Very poor timing. But go Knicks.
Go Knicks.
What else we got?
Okay. LiAngelo Ball baby mama claims he got another woman pregnant.
I mean, rich dudes having multiple baby mothers, and like that's just like.
Have you heard the song?
Oh, what was it? Yeah, well,
Tweaker.
Tweaking, yeah, Tweaker, yeah. I mean, I've heard it like whoa. It's like this 2008, like yeah. He's like, yeah, he's doing this thing. Listen, shout out to LeVar Ball, the father, who he kind of claimed that these sons were gonna be the next
all of them
coming, and guess what? He got 2 in the NBA, and one of them has a music contract. So I shout out to the whole Ball group. But I will say,
shout out to my father.
But those sneakers messed up Lonzo. Those fucking awful, those BBB shoes.
Yeah,
mess up his knees with those ugly shoes that the Ball That was a mistake. The ball, like they ruined they ruined a couple
The
of
big
really
ball
good
of
years. Yeah, those Lonzo, those big ass clunky shoes. That's what messed up Lonzo's
what
knee,
ruined
man.
his career.
Oh yeah, I mean, it gave him a pause a little bit. He's still looking pretty good. I mean, he's not as good as his brother, but like but they're all chilling. They all look good. They're all gonna keep making money. They're all gonna be rich. They're all so. I'm very excited for tweaking, and I can imagine that he has several baby mothers, and he's probably gonna have more. I heard the same thing about what's his name, the other podcaster, the basketball player. Was it up in
Matt Barnes?
Matt Barnes. His chick claimed that he was with 8 other women at the same time. Shout outs because we're also speaking of 8 other women. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so I thought
like, shout out to Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes and his 8 slides, and but it's like these dudes. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm pretty sure when she met Matt Barnes, she had some idea that he had a couple of jump offs. It was like
she was probably one of them.
Exactly. Like it's like you finally get that rotation where he told you like, no, now you're the one, and then you believe that. But like, Matt Barnes has definitely never been known. I mean, he had a time where he was married, and then he got his heart broken, and she was messing with Fisher, and Kanye talked about that story. And since then, Matt is making money.
Matt Barnes been out here.
Yeah, he's out here. He's podcasting. He's like a top podcast.
Shout out to his podcast.
Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke is great, and they're great. And like, did you expect anything else from these dudes? Like, you're crazy. Because I don't know. Sometimes but I know tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so we should look at it more romantically. But I guess that maybe if he gets each of them flowers, is that romantic? Like, if you got like 8 of your side pieces, like roses, is that
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's how it works. You gotta get them the same amount of flowers.
Listen, here's what I'll say about this, right? About love and in general. Like, if you talk about like families, you're supposed to love, like, you can love everyone in your family, and it's okay to love. But when you talk about romantic love, you're only allowed to love. You can only love one person. But like your family, you're supposed to love everyone, right? God, Jesus, church, love everyone. Romantic, one.
What about if you love pussy? Like, can you love more than one pussy? Like, it's not romantic, but you just love the pussy.
It's not romantic, but if you look at the stories of history, it is very common that it happens. It's happened more times than it hasn't.
Like, you have a queen, however,
you do, and you have powerful men and whatever. I don't know. I just feel like here's the stories we've been told and the romantic and the love movies and the whole thing, and then there's reality. And that's a problem, I think, really with what's going on in our lives right now, is I think that television and movies, they give you this really skewed version of what reality is. And we grew up on these great movies, 80s, 90s, whatever it is. But as you get older, you realize all these stories are just stories. Someone wrote this, you spent this whole life and you think that these are the way that people interact. And this is how you get a girl is, you bring her flowers and you're like, hey, I really like you. You're really nice. And it's like, and as you get older, you could keep playing that. Maybe for some dudes, if you're tall enough and good looking enough, maybe that does work enough. I don't know. Most guys I know, that is not the perfect strategy to walk into any situation where you want something from this woman, and it's difficult. I just think that's the biggest problem. And, for all the single people out here right now,
the biggest problem is guys out here simping.
They're not simping. They were just taught that that's what you should do to get something. We were with the movies with the boombox outside the window. Like, if I just stalk, think about what all romantic movies are. Romantic movies are either about cheating, right? Like, if you think about like the ones that women love, it's about like, a woman who's like in a relationship with a guy that's like, he's successful, but he's kind of like aloof. And then she finds some other dude who's like, likes to like go for walks and talk about
the Twilight series.
And that she ends up with that dude. And we actually know that she probably ended up with the rich dude in the beginning. She didn't leave him. Or maybe she cheated on the rich dude with the other guy.
Yeah.
But she ended up with the other guy.
Come on, yes.
The jerk guy in the beginning.
That's how
I get this. Just my opinion. But, maybe this is a terrible hot take for.
Oh, we want
to talk about. You know what? Are we doing the hot take? Hear me out. Hear me out. Are we doing that segment? Can
okay, yeah. Let's do it. Cut it to the hot take.
This is an important one. This is an important one. My hear me out is this. I saw something online very recently that I think that must be explored or must be spoken about very in more detail. I saw it online. I'm just basically regurgitating it. I'm sorry, I don't not know the person who bought this idea, but he's talking about men and women. And he was saying that basically his hot take, or him kind of, parrying it, is that, the difference between men and women is that women don't know how to take L's. Meaning that, like, as a man, right? We have to, we get knocked down all the time. We get rejected all the time.
Yes.
But it doesn't happen all the time to women. And or it's different, right? But they have issues with dealing with and I think that a lot of the issues, a lot of the problems between men and women happen because like things have happened in the past. Like you deal with a lot of girls who are healing, They're like, yeah. I'm healing, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, yo, that's cool. But I've gotten, kicked over, and then the next day you have to move on in a certain way in life, And I think that life is short. I deal with people who are, I've dealt with women who were mad about things that happened in high school. And I was like, listen, man, we're like 30s, 40s now. You're still mad about
bringing shit up from high school.
I don't even know, it's like a 50 song. I'm just saying, to the men, to the women. I'm not trying to I want us all to be better. I want our relationships to be better. And I think that that's one of those things is that, life is hard for everybody. And I think that men and women are starting to realize that. But as far as professionals, we're kind of balancing out, and women are just as educated. They own more homes, single women than men now. We've gotten to this point, but now we're seeing this disconnect. And a lot of it is A, these stories, and B, it's just a lot going on.
It is the stories.
It is the stories and the narratives and people just ignoring the reality of the situation and just loving these Disney movies. And we're not living in a Disney movie. And for women, what I'm saying is, my hot take here is what there is just you got to be able to take an L and move on, and not make it something where it's then it's you healing for years and years. And I get it, but as a man, it's really hard for me to relate to that because I get punched. I mean, we just have to get up, and we're not even allowed to talk about it. We're not even allowed to anything. And then it's and so this February 14th, I say to women, please take it easier on some of these guys. It's hard out here, and no one cares about our feelings. And no one cares about our input, and it gets on people, and it's one of those things that these are the things that are making. That's why singles are I think the highest. They had a study that said between 18 and 25. I saw this again on Instagram. 18 and 25, half of those people between the ages of 18 and 25 have never asked anyone out. And it's crazy. It's we're dealing with this thing, the population decline thing, all these this disconnect, this we're not no one wants to get married, no one wants because we were raised on all these stories that we just figured out this isn't real, this isn't it, this isn't what's happening, Yeah. And you either become miserable trying to fulfill these things. You're I don't understand why this isn't working or why this isn't. And it's it's way more complicated than that. We have to take moments to really think about who we are and what we are as far as, and I would love to keep talking about relationships. And again, I want a woman's opinion, and I want to hear your feedback and see what's going on. But that's the one thing I'll say. I thought that was great. The thing about not being able to take L's and not being able to handle rejection, not being able to take breakups and how that just has a much longer lasting effect on their psyche. Takes them years and months of this darkness to finally come back. And then and as a guy, if we do that and just shut down and be angry for months and years, and no one feels sorry for us, no one, you know what I'm saying? You're just gonna you're gonna die in that corner.
Is your ex still hitting you up?
No one looking it up and see what's going on.
Is your ex still hitting you up?
Absolutely not.
Keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck. Absolutely not.
Nah?
It's all good. No. I've moved on. on. I hope she's moved on. That's not what this is about. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot from that. And like I said, even being in a relationship for 3 years, now being like my first, I'm single, but not, like I'm seeing someone. I'm going out tomorrow. Like I'm not here by myself tomorrow. But it's outside too. Friday, I want to go see Captain America. I got IMAX tickets. Okay, Brave New World. We out there. It's already booked. Captain America. You know I'm supporting the black Captain America, okay? You know I'm supporting the black Captain America.
Shout out to the black Captain America.
Harrison Ford is the Hulk. People were like, someone said to me today, they were like, oh, Harrison Ford, you mean the guy from Shrinking? That's that show on Apple TV. I was like, you think Harrison Ford and you think Shrinking? Like Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford is Han Solo.
Is the latest.
It's like it was the latest, but Harrison Ford is 82 years old. I did that. I was out here.
Oh, 82? That's crazy.
Chat GPT this thing. I just looked this up today. Harrison Ford is 82 years old. Okay, which is like, okay, yeah. Put in perspective how time flies and how our lives and everything that we're doing. That's what this show's about. It's just bettering people's lives. I hope you sit back.
That guy was in movies when they were fucking black and white.
Bro, even in movies, he's just been around for a long time, and he's just, Blade Runner. Like, it was just a weird thing to hear someone say, like, oh, Harrison Ford from Shrinking? And I was just like, from what? Like, I've seen Shrinking, but like, that's Han Solo.
Jay over here is showing their age and shit. Like, what do you mean?
That's Shrinking. That's Indiana Jones. I watched Shrinking.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, of course it was a woman. And I was like, you just say, I'm either way, we're watching Captain America. I didn't mean to circle back on that.
We outside.
We outside.
Stay outside.
I am not spending a lonely Valentine's Day. But at the same time, I'm happy for everyone. And my point is, a lot of people who are going to, doing a dolo. The girls are doing Galentine's. That's like a big thing. That's a thing. To go. She was all about Galentine's Day. It was like they were like nurses. They would just do this thing called Galentine's. Like they all just get together and, and talk about how men are awful and all that stuff. And a lot of a couple of them are married and all that. And they're cheating and whole thing. It's this whole thing. Life is so crazy. And so happy Galentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day, happy, like, let's connect. But I'm just saying, let's get better at like dealing with the reality of situations and moving away from the narrative, the stories, and what's working and what's not. And that's really all that matters, especially in relationships and with everything else. It's not like what you think, and I think that's another big problem is expectations. We all have these like expectations for people. And I think as you get older, my last piece of advice for February 11th to 2025 is lower your expectations from everyone and from everyone. You know what I'm saying? I have no expectations of anyone. And I'm telling you, that's the true key to happiness is not to be sitting there and expect that this person's doing this for me, that person's doing that for me, relationship, friends, no family. Expect nothing from no one. No one owes you anything. That's basically all I got to say, brother. You tell me, what's new with you? You got anything else?
That's not exactly how females work, Jay.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Tell me. What does that mean? What does that mean? Tell me. What do you mean?
They expect everything.
No, well, that's
from everybody.
That's that's the problem. And that's all I'm saying is you get to a certain point in your life. Yes, we can expect these things, but I will say is it doesn't make you any happier. You can expect whatever you want, but it's not going to make you any happier. It's just going to lead to a lot of disappointment because people are never going to be who you think they are in your head. If anyone needed to take that advice, it is what it is. But I'm just telling you in general, as an old man, expect less from people. You'll be happier. You'll live a happier life. I love being here. I love talking with you guys. Dyckman Podcast, Casual Supremacy. We love doing it. We'll be back. We're going to do it again. Live from the MC.
Oh.
Live from the MC.